Well, good night, everyone. Welcome to the Sports Frenzy podcast. I'm your host. About me tonight, I have Devin and I have Kims. And boy, I feel like starting the show tonight by talking to Devin first, because Kims come last night throwing some well punches like his name is Nicholas Haxman Walters. And I saw Devin, the man said I doubt the show last night because Real Madrid lost to one team where nobody even know from way down our bush team. So what is your response to this, man?
No, I never had still. I never had. I had some. It's just coincidental. Kim's not gonna believe me, but I still have to say coincidental. I miss it, but that's some emergency work situation. I I don't. Kim's only work 3 days and he make over 100,000 US for the year. I have to work 7 days, 7 days a week, brother. 7 days. I have to work 7 days. And it doesn't include part time overnight sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just coincidental that a work situation came up and I was aware. It's just coincidental. It may be difficult to believe, but it's just coincidental.
No, man. I know what I've known of you is that you're not a man who hides, so I
No,
actually
man,
believe.
all the time, I'm always there. I'm always there. But like the game is no excuse. Can't make any defense for the team. There's no way you should lose. I watch a game now. I'm live on CBS Sports. That's why I watch it here. That's why I get it on CBS Sports.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys, I don't know those guys because it's new. CBS Sports don't normally carry Champions League here in New York City. He said there's no excuse, and he said that is the biggest Champions League upset he has ever seen. That's how he categorized it. I would have to go dig in the history books to really look at that statement. The biggest Champions League upset he has ever seen. Like I said, I don't know those guys as any big time football experts or so to speak, but it could be up there. It could be up there. You know?
But Devin, one thing I want to ask you, because as I say, it's a new day and all of that, but you weren't here for me to get your perspective.
Yeah.
So what happened to your favorite player, man, Vinny Jr.? He was just lost in that game.
Yeah, that game was one of the worst game of the season. Worst game of the season. He was just like, normally he get it on the left, he will dribble, go inside, try to win a penalty like he has done some games. Or if he doesn't win a penalty, dribble inside, make a cross, something happen. It's like, I don't know if he was drinking the night before or something. He couldn't pass anybody. He couldn't pass anybody. And sometimes you have guys like say a Messi or Neymar who have good. They have good what you call it. They have good dribbling skills in terms of like foot skills. But Vinny, you have those, but if he can't beat them, he will run past them like Mbappe. If he doesn't have this trickery or the skills and all of that, he can just kick the ball past them and just run past them, and that's all they need. Not even he couldn't even. Not even that was done by him. I'm Levan. I don't know what happened. And Luca get all right. It's when some people get some chances and they kick it and make a bad kick. Sometimes you can't forgive them, but once you're alone with the keeper, my thing is you should score. Luca got a chance. He kicked the ball, hit the keeper right in the face. The keeper was done for a minute, but that should have been in the back of net. And other days that would have been in the net. Rodrigo came on, get like basically empty goal miss. I don't know if the guys were out partying the night before or they just underestimate the competition. It was just a poor showing. Poor showing.
Okay,
But
well. All right, so we're going to fast forward and we now look at today. So before we go, Kems, you accept the preload by Devin, or you're still in
Well,
disbelief that
I just like to clear the air.
huh?
I do not make 100,000 a year. I don't even have an income. So let's not even say that. And yes, I accept what he's saying. I was just messing with him. But as I said before, anytime any analyst when the team play, they have to make it their point of duty. Win or lose, you make it your
true.
point of show up the next day and
That's true.
face.
Okay, so
That's
Devin,
true. That's true. Because
you know what we also have going, Devin?
yeah.
We also have for the analyst, top predictor. They'll get
Mm.
a sports friend. Well, not one. They'll get at least 3 sports friends merch come the end of the season.
Mm.
That is up for grabs as well because as Kim said, you know, you have man on the show come and go and like say, yeah, them at the top of the top when it comes down to prediction when you want to check him and them conversion rate is just 20%. So
Yeah.
Mm.
you want to prove that hey, who is the better of the predictors? So we have that going on with the analysts. So just look
Since
forward.
when? Since when that starts?
It's
Since
going to
now?
start this weekend.
Okay. Okay.
This weekend with Premier League is going to start. So going forward, that will be it. And I'll ensure that I jot down all the information. Now we're going
Thank you,
to
sir.
move. Now we're going to move on and look at the EPL, the UCL fixtures that took place today. So first up was Atalanta taking on Young Boys. Young Boys coming off and high, beat Manchester United. Chest was pumping and all of that. But hey, they were stopped in their tracks by Atalanta, who just brought them back down to earth and said, this is big boys league. This is not for the young boys. And Atalanta get a 1-0 victory. Could have been more, but boy, VAR has been very kind to all these betting companies. VAR has not been kind to the betters themselves. Atalanta scored from the 18th minute. Boom, VAR took it away instantly. So they're winning it. Atalanta ran out 1-0 victors. Young boys, as I said, back down to earth. Kim, so what you have to say about it?
Um, you know, young boys played against a 10-man Manchester United with a phony coach. So, they got a little lucky result. But, as you said, this game should have been way more than a 1-0. So, people see the 1-0 and might say, oh, Atalanta squeezed past. But no, Atalanta really, outclassed this team.
Nothing more?
Nothing more about this team.
All right, boss. We also saw Zenit taking on Malmo. Zenit got a 4-0 victory over them. Easy pickings. And I'm sure that Devin might feel a little happy about one specific player on that Zenit team. His name is Claudine, and he probably knows him from I believe it was Olympics where he played for Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
He's a lot of Brazilian is actually raving about him. They said that he should be in the senior side, and he's a creative outlet for you. He scored today and he created a lot of chances for Zenit. So what you have to say about that player and what do you think of him?
Yeah, you know what? A friend of mine was saying, yeah, see the guy we were watching from Olympics and saying he should be in the team, and he was saying, yeah, he should be in the team, but and he said I have conspiracy theories. I say good player should be in the team, but I wonder if he has the blessing of Neymar, and he's saying I have conspiracy theories. I just feel like Neymar, even though just Neymar just have a lot to say in terms of who is in that Brazil team. I may be wrong, Levon, but I just hope he goes on merit. I just hope they just do it on merit, and he deserve a call up in the Brazil team. But Brazil is not like any other team, You may have good baller that's there difficult to get in. So we watch and see how that go. But that game, I'm happy for that. That game was, I just figure I had the game for like a 4-1, but I say, you know what, I shouldn't have even given them a go. That team, I don't see that team scoring on anybody. It's difficult for them to score. And Atalanta, on their day, they can score against the best. Sometimes the defense may be shaky, but Atalanta is a team that scores.
Atahu?
No, not Atalanta.
I was just waiting, man.
Zenit. Sorry, Zenit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because, like, I remember when, what's his name, Management was on, he was talking about a team that play fast. I like the way they always play. That team used to give Manchester City some problems. Like, some seasons, like 3 to 4 seasons ago in the Champions League, they always give Manchester City some problems.
But talking about that, I remember on the previous
Yeah, man.
podcast when we were reviewing the Champions League matches, Kim's pointed out that it's not a case as if Chelsea actually outplayed Zenit. Zenit actually played football on them, and it's not a team that, well, it's only a 1-0 victory that Chelsea got. So from there on, you could saw that what Zenit was about. And Kims, you can elaborate on that.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. Chelsea, when they played against Chelsea, they weren't fearful of Chelsea parking the bus, just sitting back. And Chelsea, they had a moment of brilliance to go ahead and get past Zenit, and people were raving. But Zenit is a relatively good side. Obviously, it's not a side that we expect to win the Champions League or be in the final four or all that kind of stuff. But you know that when you play Zenit, you have to play football. You have to come ready, and it's a team that will, set up them side properly and try and get a result. Sometimes it works out in their favor, sometimes it doesn't. But you always know where you get from this team. Hard work, so It's a nice result for them, especially with Chelsea losing. I know we're going to get to that, but with Chelsea losing is a nice result for Zenit for sure.
Mm-hmm.
True, true. Now we'll move forward and we'll look at Wolfsburg. We took on Sevilla. Sevilla got lucky with a penalty at the end and a red card for Joshua, clever guy. And Ivan Rakitic converted the penalty. Devin, when you look at the Spanish teams this weekend, it's only one of the Spanish team actually won any of the game, and it was Atletico Madrid. All the rest of teams they had a lost or drew. So look at that.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, and then as you mentioned, Atletico was lucky to get that win yesterday. As I mentioned, the Spanish team because the game was there 1-1 all along, 1-1, right? And then they got a penalty at the end. I think that was the last kick of the game. Suarez scored a penalty. I
Yeah.
think that was the last kick of the game. Suarez scored a penalty, and then the match was blown off. So, um, you said it. You know, the teams, yeah, they weren't playing good, and with Villarreal too, I was expecting them to hold on for the draw. Same.
Hold on, man. Don't jump
No,
out
no, no,
there.
no. You talk about the Spanish team. I was saying I was expecting them to hold on for the draw. They got beaten as well. I know y'all gonna elaborate on that. I'm not jumping it, but you mentioned the Spanish team. So Sevilla now, I was expecting them to get at least a 1-0 win over Wolfsburg. Yeah, I like Wolfsburg because I watched them a lot in the German league, and then they organize well defensively. That's what I watched them in the German league so far. I remember there was a game then I was telling you about that game. I think it was the second game when I buy them and they scored early, right? And I said, I don't like that one goal lead. But watching them play throughout the game, in that early Bundesliga game, I had no doubt that they wouldn't hold on because like they were just so organized defensively. But for this, I have Sevilla as I have to go with my La Liga team, and I had them for a 1-0. They didn't win. It was a draw that whereby I think both teams deserved a point. I think both teams deserve a point. And again, Levon, like I said, I concede so far. Ryan was saying I'm 3 years late in terms of EPL being the best league. But the Spanish league team now is giving me a headache. You're giving me a headache when watching them playing and not even getting some good results.
So you say you concede.
Yeah, I can't see it from the last podcast, but Ryan said I'm 3 years late, which that one definitely I can debate. But for now, I'm gonna say the EPL is the best league again. But I'm just hoping for my Spanish team to do well and just beat some of these EPL team. But nah, not happening.
All right, boss. Next up, we saw RB Salzburg, a team that I want people to stop sleeping on. I see them just like Ajax, and if you look at the game that they played against, who was it against? Sevilla. They should have won that game. Remember, they threw away at least two penalties. Well, not actually. They did throw away two penalties in that game, so they could have easily won that game.
Mhm.
What has impressed me about them is my German boy. Yes, you see it right here? I have to wear it, man. His name is Karim Adeyemi. You know that since Ian Rabin, he's the first player to actually won 4 penalties during a UCL campaign. And remember, it's just 2 games in already. So he won 2 in the first fixture and he won 2 today. Today he was lucky. Well, not really lucky. Today he converted both of them and it propelled them to a victory. But Kim's a player that you probably will be happy that starting to get some game time, even though you probably might see him as a little bug. And I thought, if memory serves me correct, I think you said that he was a bug at one point. I'm talking about Angel Gomez. He actually started the game for Lille today, but it never really impacted the game as you would have expected. But as I said, Salzburg playing good, Gomez getting game time for Lille. What do you have to say?
So it's good that he's getting game time because honestly, he wasn't getting any game time when he was with the with the big team. But Salzburg, Salzburg is a team that's they always well from an attacking standpoint, right? From an attacking standpoint, is a team who always score a lot of goals. There's a team who I notice always score a lot of goals. But this season I'm kind of keen on them, especially that Sevilla game. But it's a team who can't kick penalty. Clearly it's a team who can't kick penalty because if they were supposed to beat Sevilla, they would be sitting on 6 points now and just chilling. No, they're at 4 points, but they're still in a comfortable position. They're still, in the driver's seat, just really relaxing. So, um, as it relates to these teams, boy, Lille just really drop off, and I guess is a reason because they sell all their players after they win the league. They sell all their players, so they start like a rebuilding process. So Salzburg is now reaping the benefits of that, and hopefully they can actually go through and use this momentum because after a while,
True.
they run out of steam. So hopefully they can use this momentum to just continue building and at least set a little goal for them where they can achieve.
But I think it was last night that I spoke about it a bit. Salzburg is kind of in a similar situation to Lille, in which they lost their coach in Jesse Marsch to Leipzig. They lost a couple players, but you see, based on the model that they have made themselves, it's easy
Mhm.
for players to transition and it's easy for coach to come in. Because just look at Ajax. Ajax, for example, you know that no matter whoever take over that team, it could be even the same Bogoli that is coaching Man United. If it goes to Ajax, no matter him want say him want play in freestyle football, he has to follow a model that Ajax has in place. So no matter
Mhm.
who comes into those system, they have to follow that model, and that will carry on to let those coaches look good. It doesn't necessarily mean that the coaches are good enough, but it's because
Mhm.
of the system that is set out, they has to
Yep.
follow it. And when you follow that system, it tends to
Yep.
work more often than not. So that is what is going on for the whole
Exactly.
Red Bull group.
Exactly. And like, as I said with Lille don't have that.
True.
Because every year, you say Lille play different depending on who is the coach, who is the quote unquote superstar on their team and so. And this season, even in the league, they have been very underwhelming. So you know and it really shows both in the Champions League and in the league. So hopefully Salzburg can just continue performing. I want them to at least go to the round of 16. At least they reach there. So if they don't face Manchester United, because that's a different story. But I want them to at least go to the round of 16. They feel good about.
All right. For a move on, just big up the people in the chat. Big up Pine Action in the comment section, giving some trouble. Big up Pepe Paul.
Tell Panda say you win competition already, Kems, man. It's man say you never win nothing yet, man. Tell the man
Big
say
up
you win competition already, man.
big up
The
Pepe.
amount of
Big up Ron Blake and big up Jason. Go ahead,
amount,
Kims.
the amount of competition, no win and take away on the money. Cohen money, the way and money, everybody money. Fine action now the money. That's why I'm attack. It's all right.
All right. Next up, we saw a team that is in turmoil, and this is one that Kems got correctly from way, way out. Before the competition even started, Kems said that Barcelona at best is going to end up in Europa League. He called it from day one. And it's not looking good for them. 2 games played, conceded 3 goals, yet to score. And it has leaded to think, what is Laporta waiting on to sack Ronald Koeman? I'm going to start with you on this one, Kems.
What is he waiting on? Honestly, only him can really tell you that, because first of all, from Coleman was appointed, I told these jokers, these Facebook coaches, that this guy is not the right man for the job. It's impossible for him to be the right man for the job because taking over a team, obviously we thought that Messi, would still be there and so. But taking over the team, this man just wasn't a Barcelona coach. Barcelona coach have some pedigree, have some swag to them. This man more look like a West Brom Everton kind of coach. So
Remember that he came to Southampton and never did anything, and what is it,
like
Everton as well?
yeah, so that's the thing. Like and I know Barcelona was going through, a lot of financial difficulties and a lot of up and down and all that kind of stuff. But I believe when a coach is coming to coach a top team, you have to have some kind of pedigree. Like not just get anybody. So now, it's showing itself. And Barcelona need to move on from man like PK and them little ball there. Like when I see PK on my field, me I wonder what go on because PK him lose it, and it's clear that his best days are behind him, and see them substitute him on, must in the 33rd minute or something like that. And I told you guys way before, but I even told you guys on the last Champions League preview, before this week was. I said Benfica are going to tear this team apart. I said Benfica will be the team that will go through second in this group,
Yeah, you said it.
because second behind Bayern because Barcelona just don't have it, and Barcelona can pray because right now they're in fourth place. They have 0 points. Obviously, Dynamo have 1 point, but Barcelona have to pray so them can get into the Europa spot because right now they're playing no form of football. I remember they were jumping up about Memphis and yes, Memphis is the new Messi and he's the savior of this team and I remember on the same one I know Sheikh's going through a tough time. Prayers with Sheikhs, but Sheikhs come tell us say yes, the team is going to play better without Messi because we don't have to focus on one player anymore. The ball will be moving around, and I'm saying, come on, no, like I know we want to make things, but Barcelona just don't have the players, don't have the personnel, and just they're just going through a rebuilding process, and that's okay, And I say the best they can hope for is a 6 to 7 place finish in La Liga, and people bet me $20,000, $30,000, so I'm going to wait for that payout. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to call any name. Whoever bet me, only can just give it to Levon and Josh, and they'll continue building the brand. I don't even want the money, just give it to them, right? But these are the things I'm talking about. Barcelona come up against Benfica is not even elite competition. It's not even elite competition. It's mid-level competition, and they look totally outclassed. They look outplayed. They look outcoached. Barcelona look like them belong in the Manning Cup. That's how they look. They belong in the Manning. Yeah, that's it's a joke thing, right? It's hard to say about a Barcelona team who was just in the top three in La Liga, fighting for La Liga, just won a trophy. I think they won the Copa del Rey last year or something like that. They were
Yeah.
just doing, and then now it seems like they're just existing. So, that's just what I have to say about Barcelona.
Oh, that the man from Africa finally back in on the show and finally back in the building. It's been a
Yeah,
while, man.
good night, good night. It's getting a little colder now, so you have to be inside more.
Um, Immediately I'm just going to put you in that seat. You're in that seat of Barca. Where do you go from here? Because obviously things aren't going good for you any at all. What is the next move?
I think obviously coaching is a big part of what they need. They need changing coaching. They need a coach that can probably get I guess world class players again. Obviously if you still have to be using PK as a starting centre back, things is not looking good. I think Messi must be looking in and I don't know if it's a club that he love, but you have to look at the coaching job first because you need a culture. I think me and you would be the good person, and Kems would be good people to know about culture in terms of when you're in a winning period, you have to make, and this is a rebuilding period for them, which Manchester United, Liverpool would have went through. Even Real Madrid look like they're in that period too. So it's just that they need a coach that can build a culture and get the players to believe again.
But and also, I remember when this guy just Laporte when he just came back, he made big. I love when these people make some big statement. He's saying no, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact quote, but he was saying that losing will now have a consequence at Barcelona. And
No, no,
I'm
no,
going
no,
to
no,
tell
no. You don't have to paraphrase. That is exactly
oh
what
that's
he said.
okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I'm saying how many losses now them have accumulate for it to be some consequence because Coleman clearly, remember, Coleman's like him jinx himself because from him come out and say he make him make a statement about what him do for Barcelona. I don't think he must win one game after that or get a
Yeah,
draw.
yeah.
So
The game that they beat who was it they beat on the weekend that they won 3-0? Was it Elche?
yeah, yeah, one of them team there. One of them team there. From that only one game him win. So, with all that being said,
Uh,
and I know well on the
uh,
Chris. I know that a
yeah,
coaching needed, right? But what I'm saying is that when the season was just starting and Barcelona I pick up certain results, I never hear any crying about the coach. I never hear any crying about
yeah,
the coach at all.
True,
The coach was actually doing well, and I see a lot of persons say big up Coleman, big up this, big up that.
true.
But I just don't think he is the fit for Barcelona. For Barcelona is trying to do, and a lot of these clubs they don't have succession plans, and that's what always happens. When the transition period is happening, they don't have somebody who could succeed. But that's one of them things.
Yeah,
Chris, go
well,
ahead.
everyone.
Yeah, I was just gonna say,
Devin, I have a
obviously,
question for you, Devin. So let
Oh,
Chris
go,
go
go.
first.
I was saying, obviously, you have to look at the board because you buy Coutinho, you send him, you buy him for too much money to send him on loan. You were just red eye or what? You buy Dembele, unfortunately, injuries, but you buy Griezmann and you did the same thing basically like what you do with Coutinho. So you didn't have no plan when you was buying these players. So you have to look at the board also, like what Kim said. The board and I don't know these. I don't know if they have too much money. So when they are making these buy at the time, they are not looking into how they fit really and think that they can just buy. So there is not a culture because obviously Griezmann going back after you pay him so much money and all of that. It just doesn't make no sense.
Yeah. And here's Jason in the comment section saying that the alternatives according to the board right now are Javi, who is inexperienced, and Roberto Martinez, not ideal replacements. Javi is the one that they have been chasing, but Javi says that he wants to stay in what's it again? Qatar for a
Qatar.
while. Yeah, he wants to stay there for a while before he actually makes the move over. So probably is a case that they're seeing where it goes with Coleman and probably hold out until then. But the question that I want to ask you, Devin, is a spin-off of something that Chris just said. So earlier on today I was actually reading some news that they said that Real Madrid's salary cap is like over 300 million thereabouts, while Barcelona has taken a dramatic fall by 300 million. So their salary cap is now at around 50 million. So it goes back to the same thing that Chris said. They purchase all these players for these youth sum without any thinking or any rationale behind it as to the consequences down the line. No, we're seeing that it's affecting them because they can't buy any players. And then the players that they have brought in are just not good enough. For instance, Eric Garcia, he's not good. And that's the reason why Pep just say, yo, you can't go on. So look at it now, Devin. What you have to say about that?
No, honestly, I even though I'm a Real Madrid fan and Barca is like our enemy in La Liga, I still want to see La Liga is my preferred league. I still want to see the league doing good in Europe. So it's hurting me now that Barca is going through all the turmoil and doing so poorly in Europe. Because when I see at the beginning of the league, like what Kems was saying, and they were winning, and people talking like Memphis is the second coming of Christ or something like that. Remember, this was the man that was at Man U. He went to the French league, and you leave from over the Bush league, as what people call the French league, to come to the Spanish league and doing good in La Liga. And now, whenever he plays in the Champions League against Benfica, Benfica is not like in a German league or EPL or Italian league, and Benfica dispose of them that much, and we don't see Memphis at all. So it's just a bad thing. And as you mentioned, the financial thing. This is another. I want to touch the financial thing real quickly. Real Madrid and Barcelona are trying to block this thing that there's a venture capital or something like that where the other clubs in La Liga, besides all the other clubs besides Madrid and La Liga, even Atletico Madrid agreed to it, whereby they were going to get some, like, because their clubs were basically broke and they're going to borrow some money from this venture capitalists or some fund, right? Madrid and Barcelona opposed to it, but it still went ahead. I think it was some 650 million or billion, a lot of money, but it was to help the smaller club just to stay afloat. Madrid and Barcelona were totally opposed to it. They even want to write a letter to the Spanish FA to block it because they're saying it's not good. They're
All right, Devin, I kind of chip in on you.
10% of the earnings. That's what they have to give up the lending from. 10% of the earnings. That's what in order to get that loan. Barcelona and Madrid were totally opposed to it. So all the financial position that they're in. Sometimes, honestly, just for the sake of the small and benefiting, I'm not really too sorry for them. Even though I love those two tackles, because you have to let the smaller clubs survive. How can the smaller clubs survive if they don't have money?
I'm just going to stray a bit away from the Champions League and these big clubs, just to substantiate a point. It's just a case like over in Scotland where Rangers and Celtic is concerned. So there's a particular one, I believe he owns Barnsley and a couple clubs, one over in Belgium, I think one over in Switzerland. So What happened is that he wanted to take over a club in Scotland. Now, Rangers and Celtic are against it. Reason being, they don't really want any competition between those teams to really stop whatever is going on between the whole firm. So they are the one basically blocking the move from taking place. So it's like just like a cap again, as I said, they put it as a takeover cap of 29.5%. So if you own a club outside of Scotland already, or you own probably two clubs outside of it, and you have majority shareholder majority shares in those clubs, you can't afford to take over a club in Scotland. So it's just a similar case where these big clubs feel threatened, but that somebody might come up against them and probably threaten them in terms of competing. So I can see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
But we move on, and we just want to say welcome to the chat to every new person and everyone that is always here. Next up, we saw a team that a lot of people gloat about, say, hey, they are the champions and they're the champion elect, and EPL is all theirs, Champions League is theirs again. And we hear all these preludes, and the coach even went as far as say he's going to build that team that everybody is afraid of playing. But over the past two games, nobody is afraid of them. City beat them, no Juventus beat them. I'm talking about none other than Chelsea. So before I get deep into that game, first off, Lukaku went missing against Man City. I don't care if you want to tell me that he never created enough and Man City did this and did that. He went missing against a big team in Man City. Today faced Juventus. And just like he did when he was at Inter, he went missing once again in a big game. I'm going to start with you, Chris, on this one because people keep on talking about Chelsea, so they are the biggest thing right now in Europe. So what you have to say about them? Two defeats back to back. What you have to say?
Yeah, that is always what's going to be the test. When you're playing good and people have you in the spotlight and everyone's saying yes, they're the best, that was always going to be the test. When you lose, how do you bounce back? So I guess this is probably a wake up call for us. They probably be bouncing off what us out there thinking that they are just so good. But they play with Chelsea play with a lot. Chelsea play with a lot of defenders. They are very hard to score on. So they depend on getting that go-ahead goal most of the times because basically if they get that go-ahead goal, that basically earn them their 3 points or a win most times in a game. Like I said, Lukaku went missing today. Probably get a half a chance at the end, probably around 88 minutes. Probably, like I said, probably if it was a lower team, he would have probably buried it because it was on the left foot, and I think Chelsea he should have buried it. But Chelsea didn't. I can't use a Chelsea that play against Man City. They have some missing players. So I don't really have a beating for them. They have missing players, and that's the reason why you can't really go at them too hard because
What,
what
who
happens
are
if
the
these players come back?
who are the missing players?
They have quite a lot, Kim. So, all right, Pulisic is missing, Mount is
That's
missing, Kante is missing,
Stop
Reece
looking at
uh,
James.
games, man. Stop looking like
uh,
I make
However,
up things as games, man.
however,
Those are
those
important
are key
players,
players,
though.
They are.
Yeah,
no.
man.
However,
Hold
remember
on.
something that we keep on beating, is that Chelsea squad is so deep that any 11 that Chelsea put out there, they can't beat up anybody at any
But
given.
but me now say that Levan. So if the Chelsea fans are say that they must take them beaten with when them get them beaten then. But me not think that you when you miss the Kante, who does a lot for Chelsea. Basically you can't replace that man. You can't use any midfielder to replace him. That of how he plays football at the moment. You can't use any defensive midfielder to really replace the work that he gives
But
you.
he wasn't starting at the beginning, though. Remember that when they were actually doing well enough, Kante was nowhere to be seen. It was Jorginho and Kovacic that were actually playing in
But
that.
he had a niggle. He had a niggle.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is that they were playing good at that time, and it was at that time you hear people talking about Chelsea as being the champions elect and all of that. So, looking at it from that standpoint, I wouldn't really say that it's because of Kante why this happened.
Not
And
Kante alone, but Pulisic, you need those changes off the bench.
And,
You need
and last policy play a game. What?
yeah, but Kem, you need those players because you're just
Not
looking
against,
at they
not
still have a
against,
good 11.
against
You're just
Juventus,
looking at they still have a good 11. But you
No,
know that you're going to have bad players going to have bad games. And you need those players that can make a difference at some time. You make a sub. You're not going to have a good game all the time, you know. So it's
All right,
just like Lukaku having a bad day. You can't even look to Werner. You can't even look to Werner really.
all right.
Lukaku
Hold on
having
there.
a bad day, you just say, okay, Chelsea done. Them not really looking to Werner. I
No,
don't think the Chelsea fans looking to him.
all right. So look at this. Look at this for me, Chris. Look at this for me,
Yeah.
Chris. Mendy, Rudiger, Silva, Christiansen,
Makes sense.
Aspi, Alonso, Georgia, Kovacic, Havertz, Ziyech, Lukaku against
Big
a
style.
Juventus team that
Out of
is
stars.
struggling. You need better. You need more than that. You need Mount too, Kante too. No man, no man.
Alright, so Kims, I'm going to ask you this question because I saw
At
someone
home,
raise.
at home though, Kems. Never leave that out. You know, Juventus is a different atmosphere.
What's going through?
But pe- people might look at it and say that Mount is one of them that get Chelsea clicking, attacking wise because remember that last season, even when they played against Man City in that final, it was Mount and Havertz who actually combined to get that goal. So Mount does a lot for this Chelsea team going forward. However, remember that I pointed it out the other day that Mount this season has been off form since Euros. That man has looked out of sorts. But what I want to get across to you, now, Kim, is that I saw someone make the point today that Chelsea, Juventus said to them, say, here's the ball, play football. It seems like Chelsea just get totally discombobulated because this is a team that is used to chasing. They're not
Yep.
used to having majority of the possession. So could it be a case that because they were told to play some football today, the whole mind frame just get messed up and they didn't have really anything at all to come back from that?
Also, that is one. That is one, and also a thing that I'm noticing with this Chelsea team, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong. This Chelsea team is a front runner team. When they're leading,
That
and they can be able to sit back, defend with all them 15 defenders. Okay, no problem. But you see how when Juventus score now, and different scenario now, then I'm hearing about Mount missing and thing. Let's put things into its proper context. From them play Aston Villa. Remember, from them play Aston Villa, them never look good against Aston Villa. And they had the same people who say only police we think them never have a time and probably won't too, right? But from them
Yeah.
play Aston Villa, no good. They were lucky to get the result against Aston Villa because of poor finishing. Okay, then let us move to the same Zenit what we talked about earlier. Very lucky to get a result against him. Then Man City, they know Juventus. So I believe 4 games is a good enough sample size to see that we were not we, but y'all were overreacting, telling me if this team is champion elect and EPL champion elect and Champions League elect and defending Champions League champions, you guys are supposed to be able to beat Juventus. I'm just saying, like more
no,
Juventus. Well, I know more Juventus give up. I don't remember which team them play. I think they give up 2 goals against them, win 3-2 against some team over the weekend or something like that. If not this weekend or last weekend or the
Yeah,
weekend
this
before.
weekend they
But
did.
yeah, but this Juventus team is not nothing special. This Juventus team is not a team. Also, let us not forget that Lukaku just coming from the Italian league. He's just coming from there, used to playing against these same Juventus defenders. So what happened? But again, the big game get to him, and when the expectations are heightened to Mr. Lukaku, to Mr. Timberland, he will always not fail us and just don't deliver. And just don't deliver. So I don't pay a lot of money for Lukaku, so I don't want to hear about no Darren Kante, no little Pitney Mount that was disappointed in the Euros, and no Pulisic when I play since Wapikil fill up. I don't want to hear that. If Uno are the champions elect, gonna find a way. Other teams have to find a way. Man City have to find a way when they're injured. Man U, Liverpool. So I don't want to hear no excuses at all.
no, Man City don't have their number 9 that most people think that they need. But Kems, you're right. You didn't disagree with me. I said they are a front runner. That's basically what I said. If they get the goal first, we know what they're going to do. So I don't have nothing to disagree with. I mean, I just think that they miss players, so I won't pressure them. Because I know that's going to be an excuse. But I won't pressure them. Love to see when Pulisic and Kante fit. and see how they played. But that's how they're gonna still play. They're going to
So,
still be a front running team.
so
Hope to
when
get the go ahead goal and then they're hard to beat from there.
so let me ask you a question, Chris. So when Pulisic and Kante come back, then am I now going to hear that, oh, Georgina never play? Am I going to hear that, no, Zion? Like I just want to know, is there always going to be a constant excuse for these teams? But we don't understand. Like Chelsea team is loaded, like the most loaded team in the EPL right now. Like it is absolutely loaded. And I hear that this coach is a top coach and he's the best coach they have out there. I
I
know
so,
you can't you can't lose. You can't lose 1-0. Cannot.
it's the ears Jenna, the Chelsea fan saying that, but in Europe it's a different approach. Playing at home for Juve, they're rested your cage and while we were not sharp. But looking at it from that standpoint, Jana, you have played 2 games back to back, and you guys have looked way out of sorts. And as I saw someone say in the comment section that this team is rocked as the point stand. Right now, Chelsea is rocked. Can they come back? You expect them to. But personally, for me, I just hope that Chelsea keep on losing. Because the more Chelsea lose, the better it will be for me as a United fan. Because at least,
You guys are
personally, I dislike Liverpool fans, you know. I know the rivalry from longer while back.
yeah.
I dislike Arsenal fans because they are annoying. But you know what's gotten very annoying? The Chelsea fans. They're the worst fans right now, and I dislike all of them. So personally, for me, I don't mind Chelsea keep on losing because it does give me more ammunition to troll them. Well, that's if my team keep on winning. But let's move on. We saw Juventus showing once again that, as I said to Kim, don't sleep on this team. Bayern Munich is a team that they have a good coach, and this coach is getting players that weren't performing to actually perform because since he has taken over Bayern Munich, we know Leroy Sané game has raised to another level. He has played 8 games on the chart and he has 7 assists and 3 goals across those 8 games. And Lewandowski, who missed out on the weekend from scoring, he was back and he scored twice. And we have to give hats off to a few of our viewers, a couple of our commenters who said it in the comment section last evening that Bayern Munich could have won this game 5 goals to 0, and they said it, and that is exactly what happened.
Exact score.
It's the Dynamo Kiev team, and I'm going to start with Devin on this one. Devin, when you look at Bayern, they just seem like a team that is a well-oiled machine going forward. I mean, they never played with a right back today because it was Nicolas Sula who is a bug when it comes on to going forward. However, Kiev never offered much, and Bayern did what we expected and just dominate this team. So what do you think of their chances of winning the league this season?
All right. So remember at the start of the show, before Chris was here, you went back to an argument because I wasn't on and you talk about Real Madrid. The last time I was on, day before yesterday, computer battery died and I was on the issue about squad and Zidane, and I was defending Zidane being a big coach. Y'all put it down to say he has just great squad. So I'm gonna use just like with Bayern. Bayern has the squad where they can easily win the league, which I don't see anybody stopping them, and Champions League they can win. So with Bayern, the expectation for other teams maybe here, theirs is up there. You know? So for them to win the Champions League and also the domestic league. So they did what they expected. When they have one of my, like I said, I like Sané, but the next guy sometimes
Mula is their player, man.
yeah?
Mula is the
Mula and the next guy named Coleman. Somebody was saying, oh, Coleman not in a Sunny class or whatever. But I like Coleman. I like Coleman. So sometimes, and the coach have the liberty. Sometimes he rests Coleman. Sometimes he start Sunny. When you have the liberty of those 2 players, one you can start, the next one you can rest. Oh gosh, man, that's a top-notch squad. So we expect them to do that. So I expect them to win the league, to win it, because last time they got knocked out and they're coming back for revenge. You know, they still have Mola. They still have Mola. They still have Lewandowski, and I just expect them to go the double. And like you said, they have a good coach, and we can go the debate about coach. Once a coach have good squad, but we have seen coaches with good squad and they don't do anything with it.
But
So I expect
Devin,
yes.
in the case of Nagelsmann, Nagelsmann proved that he was a good coach when he was at Hoffenheim. He left Hoffenheim and then went over to Leipzig, where he had one of the youngest teams, not necessarily world-class players. He developed those players.
Mm.
So he proved his pedigree. So
Zidane proved he was a good coach when he was coaching Real Madrid B team too.
who?
Yeah, Zidane proved that he was a good coach when he was coaching the B team. He was working with.
Different.
Let me ask you a question, David. David, let me ask you a question because it seems like it is a joke conversation. You're going to equate Real Madrid B to a Hoffenheim and a RB Leipzig?
Especially the work that he did at Offenheim was a
And then
brilliant work.
you're gonna dismiss the 3 Champions League and
Just answer the question. Are you
double. Remember the double in 2017, the double with the Champions League and the domestic league, knocking out Barcelona. Just dismiss that to say, oh, he has great depth of squad. Nah.
No, but David, I don't like that comparison that they just dropped. It was a poor comparison, man. Real Madrid B to Hoffenheim and Leipzig.
So he was coaching. No, you make it seem like him just get a squad and he's just a good squad. The man was coaching before. He had his qualities. He was advisor to Mourinho. He was assistant to Rafa. The man duly get his coaching thing and he proved himself. You keep talking about identity. You want to see identity. You want to see identity. And what? No trophies. The man, big time coach. Man, you must go get him.
For a reason. You can't call the background of Real Madrid. We're all right.
Yeah.
But Kems, you're the joke comparison by Devin a while ago. Comparing Real Madrid B to Hoffenheim and Leipzig.
So Zidane was a good coach before he came to Real Madrid 18.
Hey, he said Kems, not Devin. All right, Kems. Okay. Let me tell you, Devin has a huge sensationalism with Real Madrid. Huge. So anything him just want, it's like him just itch to mention Real Madrid. I don't know how Real Madrid was relevant to this conversation about this. But as we move on to Bayern Munich, right? Obviously, Bayern Munich playing the best European football right now, right? They're playing the best European football right now. And what I really like about Bayern is Bayern not gonna play with you. You're not gonna come at Bayern and Bayern and give you 1-0, make you have no confidence. Bayern is looking to embarrass you.
Yep.
They're looking. They're going back home, or even if they're at your home, the more you feel bad about yourself, the more you go back and you evaluate your tactics. Not no 1-0, not no 2-1. Make you feel like, shoot, if they do this, if they get ahead of them, may have a chance. No. 4-0, 5-0, 6-0. The team what them they play in another little joke cup there, what them give them 12-0.
Yeah. I remember the other day in the league, they scored 8 in the league the other day.
Exactly. And that is how it's supposed to be. If you're a team that you're serious. I remember Chelsea play, the Champions League, like Chelsea, right? They played against, I don't remember which team they played. They played against like a bug team. Give that team the 2-0. Like a 2-0. No. When you play against teams and you are superior in class, you have to let these teams know that, hey, I am indeed superior in class. And that is what Bayern continue to do. With that being said, though, they will come up short for the Champions League. Because as you see, as you know, the team who's going to win the Champions League, they played yesterday. They played yesterday. So they are going to win the Champions League. But Bayern will always be competitive. They'll always make it to the semi-finals thereabout, but not this season. This season is all about the PSG winning the Champions League, and not Bayern.
All right, since as you're getting overboard now, let's go to Chris. Chris, what do you thought about Bayern's performance and how all these attacking players have seen? Well, not just attacking, but even the midfield. Because if you notice with the team, goals are flying in from all over. I saw Kimmich score twice the other day and could have easily had an hat-trick. You saw Goretzka scoring, Musiala off the bench. Guess what? You know what's been the most? If you check the conversion rate, right? The goals per game ratio. You know that Eric Choupo-Moting has a better goals per game ratio than Robert Lewandowski right now, because I believe he has scored like over 10 goals this season already in around 5 starts and 3 sub appearances. So goals are coming from everywhere for Bayern Munich. So what you have to say about them?
Yeah, like I said, it's a fully oiled machine, and that's why I picked them to win 5-0. Because, like Kem said, it's a team that go out there and mean business. They let you feel, they don't come here to to try and make you feel good about it. They try to embarrass you as best as possible. And like I said, they have goals coming from everywhere. I like to watch them because they create a lot of chances, and that's what football is about. You like to see teams creating a lot of chances, and I don't know what Ken's watching, but it's going to take some beating to beat this team. Because you have to give kudos to their president again. Obviously, he's not allowing anyone any silly buys. Like when he buys someone or when they go for someone, they just slot in and fit. And even if it take a season or two, it's not somebody they're looking to sell back right away like these Real Madrids and these Barcelona at the moment. That seems like they can't get it right. Bayern, because the league is similar to what PSG is doing. I think they are better than the PSG team because they can have goals from anywhere, and they have a more. They are chemistry wise. They are more there, and I
Yeah.
think Neymar and Messi probably be reaching for this one. And
Mhm.
Bayern is the favorite for me.
All right. So look at this. So look at this, Chris. Right. Look at this. I believe, and I agree. I agree with everything that you said, especially the last point, right, where you said that
Big point.
when you said that the players just fit in seamlessly, right? The thing is with Bayern versus those other teams, right? For example, Barcelona, when Bayern buy a player, before them even buy the player, they know what they want to do with the player. So they know how
Yeah,
the player go, what the player gonna do. When Barcelona buy a player, them just want to buy the player, so another team that get the player. You know, so
Yeah,
it's like so
sounds
them
like
not
sounds like something that Marino would do.
yep. So them not have no plan for the player, you know. Them not have no plan at all. Them just okay. Coutinho play well. We are gonna we could get Coutinho because Real Madrid probably are gonna want him. This team are gonna, so we could just get him without no real plan of how them are gonna put him in the system. But again, your point again, Bayern have the chemistry, have everything, but I just believe star power, those three up front, Neymar, Messi, and Mbappe. I just
Boss, oi. You saying talk about star power up front. Don't mention Neymar name in that. Neymar now don't not out of PSG, so not mention
no.
I
him name.
mean nobody can fight Kems if you pick PSG. When I look at the team, if them supposed to win, I don't think anybody can really fight the Kems. I just think me prefer the Bayern team, especially when I see how PSG defend. I prefer the Bayern team.
I agree. But we're just going to move on and look at the final game that took place today. And
Game of
boy,
the day.
I would say yes, it was the game of the day, but it was a game with a lot of hard takes, man, a lot of cussing, and as a lot of as a lot of United fans would say. Yes, whenever United release a lineup, like 90% of the fans agree with the lineup. United tend to always either lose or draw. Yes, so when the lineup is released and like 90% are cuss about it and say, yo, what kind of eat that lineup, this and thing like that, they always tend to win. Not today. I don't know if because of media pressure or whatnot, this man decided that he's going to drop Fred today.
Fred.
And yeah, personally to me, I don't care still. I don't want Fred in my team. Fred must just go wherever I came from. But you went with an attacking lineup today where Pogba slotted back into midfield. Still don't like seeing Sancho on the left, but if you ask me, this was Sancho's best game in a United shirt. Sancho did what we expected him to do in terms of he never created much, but in terms of beating players, he wasn't timid today. He beat a lot of players today, and that is what we expect to see from him. And it seems like his confidence is slowly coming to him. And when you look at it, though, one thing still remains, and is questioning Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. This man is a clueless clown, and the quicker that he cuts, better it will be for United. But Kems, um,
Mhm.
lot of fans been waxing lyrically about Diego Dalot. He needs to come into the team. He offers more than one Bissaka, but this man is clueless defending. And Arnold Danjuma ran him ragged today. Danjuma was all over him, and it seems like this man never know where to position himself. So we'll start with you on this one. What you have to say about United performance and Diego Dalot?
All right. So I'm not sure how many people play sports, right? But in order, in order for Sancho to get where he needs to be, the man have to play. Like you can't get better I sit down on the bench. You can't get confidence. I sit down on the
But yeah,
bench, knowing that this man is a regular starter from where he's coming from. And I'm sure the conversation he had with the coach, I say he might go play a lot. So, when I watch Sancho, I'm not judge. I don't want judge. I'm not judging Sancho now. After Christmas, then we can start putting some judgments when I believe him get a good run of games, him get used to the Premier League and so. But I agree with you, Levar, when I say this game, a lot of persons judge a player if him score or if him assist. That is not how I look at it. I'm looking at the player movement, what he contributes to the game, his energy, even when he lose the ball, does he run back? Those little ways, find ways how to impact the game. That's one. About Dalak now. Obviously, going forward, he is much better than Wan-Bissaka, much better. But my thing is, I don't need I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I can do without that. Because we have enough, I believe we have enough attacking presence on the team that we don't need our right back to be going forward, and then defensively he's poor. If he was at least average defensively, I would say, all right then. Probably he can play 1 or 2 games. But this man is absolutely dreadful, and that is me being nice. It's like the man now have no clue about positioning. Him now have no clue about tackling. But going forward and square a ball, absolutely, him can do that. So I don't believe that he's. I would still go with Wan-Bissaka just because defensively Wan-Bissaka offer more. Defensively Wan-Bissaka, even though sometimes him head not good, but he's more willing to put his body on the line for us. And he's a man that played a lot of heart, and so I would prefer that. In terms of the United performance, um, I would say it was an okay performance. I'm still looking for Bruno to find back his playing shoes because it's like
so
him
hold on,
losing.
Skims, I'm going to stop you. I said it was an okay performance. I'm sure that Devin and Chris knows this caller off the radio. It goes by the name below average. This performance was basically below average for me.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I said it was okay. Right?
Is the win give Kens that one?
Not even the winning, not even the winning, is the fact that this was a game that could have gone against Manchester United. That's why I say it was a okay. This was If it was probably last season, would have said this is a game Manchester United would have lose. So that's why I give it a okay. And again, I keep on saying, no matter if Cristiano Ronaldo is 76 or 86, once that man is playing football and your side can get him, you get that man because that man is a goal scorer. No matter the man could not play nothing in the game, but just before the game end, and if you look, a man that win Champions League multiple times, a man who win Ballon d'Or multiple times, a man win international trophies, a man who win La Liga, a man who win Italian League, win Premier League. Look at the passion. Look at the passion where the man come with when the man score. And I tell individuals that would be infectious in the locker room. If you see how the team just rally around the man, when a man who is a champion come into a team that no win nothing, it is going to be infectious in the locker room. And again, we never play well enough for win the game, but we win the game. And we have to take our hats off to these performances. I know Ole, he might go feel like him do something good when he put on Lingard, when he put on Fred, when he put on Matic in a film head, and him change the game and make United win. So I just know, just look out for weekend. You guys either Matic start or Fred start or Lingard start. One of them because in a film head him do something good. But as a Manchester United fan, it was good to see that we can play a not so good game and still come out victorious.
Yeah, man, a good goal by Scammer tell us because you know that I call that man a scammer because that man has never put in a good performance at United, but
Oh God,
it was
oh God.
it was all right today.
He was all right today, but him is a next Dallas. Because that man can't,
Scammer
for
that
me,
man.
for
Scammer tell
me,
us.
that man cannot defend to save his life. So, but as I said, this is a game where we could have easily lose 2-1, and then, we are
Two
at 0.
one
No man,
from
this
half
is
time. You
this
could have lose from 2-1.
this game we
No,
should have
no,
lost by half time we should be chasing by fours because of faulty finishing. And it
Two
seems
one,
like
Ken.
no,
You
guess
no, no,
what
being
games
nice,
guess
man.
what games you know that
no,
Maguire
no,
Maguire
no.
slightly being our farm this season, right?
Huh?
So I'm saying Maguire has been slightly off form this season. So you know that Varane was paired with Lindelof today. It seems like something caught in Varane's head where he missed Maguire and he had to do what Maguire has been doing over the past couple of games, making a mistake, gifting the ball. And had Paco Alcacer been more clinical, they would have easily went in with the lead. But we have to give I mean, this is not my favorite player because you know that Dean Henderson is my keeper. But David De Gea was superb today. That
Yeah.
man saved United from the embarrassment. So he, if you ask me, that is the only man that I would probably give his paycheck to. The rest of them can walk, go wherever them live. But
The thing is,
go ahead.
oh, yeah, I'm gonna say real quick, Chris. The reason why I'm gonna say 2-1 because through United win 2-1, so me I said the result could have turned
Could
the
have
VRL.
switched, yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened, but from Dean Henderson get that COVID thing, and they here realize say he must start. That man say, "Yo, man, nah, give up this," because the man a save a penalty from 2014. The man a save penalty. The man certain ball were there and I normally dive for. The man a dive and I get dirty for. The man a come on in a box. Things I'm gonna see they here doing a long time. See the man a do right now. So.
True.
It look like say he might find back him feet. He no want give up the starting jam. So let's see.
All right. I have a question for Devin and Chris. I'm going to start with Chris first. You saw the goal that Messi scored yesterday. When I talk about the quality and all that, PSG was
Yeah.
dominating. Now, in terms of magnitude, the goal that Cristiano scored at the end versus the goal that Messi scored, which one of them was more valuable to each player's team?
Because Messi was leading 1-0, the Christie goal means more. That's the Christie goal means more because Messi was leading 1-0 and a draw there would have just got the coach again in more trouble. And what he did was bail his coach out there, Ronaldo, and bail Manu out of getting into trouble after losing to young boys. You don't want to fall, you don't want to lose against Villarreal, who more than likely it will be a top of the table clash between you and them. So I think it was more valuable than the Messi goal in terms of the team, contributing it to the team.
Okay.
Mhm.
Um,
But it's not far, because not scoring a second goal against a City team can be dangerous. So
All
it's not far. But I will go with the Ronaldo goal.
May I beg you to jump off of this level? What I think is, I, I'm not a big Ronaldo fan. I'm not a big Ronaldo fan, but I'm a fan of greatness. You see me? And once a player produce greatness, you must always get ratings from me. However, obviously in the grand scheme of things, you're gonna say Ronaldo goal because that's a winner, right? But if you look how the
hold on,
PSG
hold on,
game,
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Not just a winner. Put the emphasis on it that it was a last minute winner.
Yeah.
That is a
okay,
key thing. You can't leave that out.
a last minute
Last
winner.
kick of the game, winner.
So it was a last minute winner. But if you look at the context of the PSG game, right? Remember, at that point, Man City was dominating possession, growing back into the game, And I believe when Messi scored, that just deflate the team. But it's hard to argue against somebody that scored a last minute winner. It's hard to argue against that because obviously the game was about to be over. Last kick of the game. So but the Messi goal, and I believe individually, it did more for Messi than it did for Ronaldo. Because Ronaldo used to this,
I
but
agree.
Messi, he hasn't been playing really well for PSG.
I agree.
Haven't been playing up to his standard. Probably questioning himself, as great as he is, probably saying, did I make the right move? Did I not? Should I? All those things are amongst a lot of great players getting substituted in the 76th minute in the last Champions League game. So, those little stuff, so him scoring a goal like that, bring back him confidence and, watch out. Watch out.
Oh, all right. I agree with what you said, but a different perspective, more valuable to the team to, and more valuable in the sense that, in quotes, I put this in quotes, it's more a saving grace for the coach as well. Because a 1-1, again, you see, even though a lot of people still saying ole out, but
Yeah, we lose our job.
win, lose or draw. But a 1-1 draw, you would hear ole. It would be more. It would be
Because
more
they would still get the foot
continuous.
at the table.
You get what I'm saying? It would be more continuous. But the 2-1 win, is the difference between Kem saying it was an okay than I can't take, you have man on the bench counting nails. You know what I mean? That's different. You see, you remember the last game when they lose? And it says on the bench counting nails and holiday. But he's a bit more calm today. So that's the difference between it. So that goal, even though it was the last minute winner and everything, the manager too. You have to look at the whole fact that the manager, it took a lot of pressure over the manager, and it just did a lot for the team after what they endure with young boys in the previous game too.
Yeah, true. And I'm going to stick with you, Devin, because this is a man that has won you multiple Champions League titles. And
along with good coaching.
Go again?
Along with good coaching.
Boss man. As Kim said, this man, when I look at him, you see greatness. So we're talking about the greatness of this man.
All right.
He never had a good game, and we even saw it in his last fixture that he played for Portugal, that he was awful. But the thing is that this is a man that, that will pop up from anywhere and deliver the goods. While the game was going on, a plethora of United fans called for him to be substituted. I was sitting back and watching again, and so then people are not having no sense, because you can't be needing a winner. You can't be chasing the game and take off a man that can just pop up with something out of nowhere. So, let me ask you this, Devin. I saw a question that a lot of people raised. Cristiano not playing well, Ole being the coach. Does Ole take him off, or Ole rest his faith on the greatness of this man and leave him on the pitch?
You can't take him off. You cannot take him off. And plus, no disrespect to the Man U squad. It's not like you take him off and you have, like I saw with PSG, where, the sub Messi, and Messi was upset. It was a thought Messi was upset. You sub Messi, but you have Neymar, you have Mbappe. You sub Cristiano Ronaldo. Who do you have?
Big baller Martial.
Who do you have? You have good players there, but you don't have any players at the magnitude of Messi and Neymar there. You cannot sub one of the greatest footballers of all time in that.
Definitely. Okay, sorry.
Plus, it just that thing about some player calling for him to sub. I mean, my two favorite players, and they both play for Man U and Real Madrid. I remember. No, I'm not talking about Vinny. No, man. I remember this.
Beckham and Chris.
No, man. Rude Van Nistelrooy.
Oh,
Rude. Whenever I want a goal for Madrid, and it was the same thing with Man U. Whenever I want a goal, even if he's not playing well, and some people talk about him just poking a goal, and whether you have to be in the place to poke in the goal for the goal to score. I don't care if the ball bounce off of your toenail or bounce off of your nose and went in. You're out of position to score. Ball going in the net is a goal. You get what I'm saying? So that's the same thing with Cristiano Ronaldo. You want a goal, you can depend on him to get a goal. I'm not subbing him.
And also, we can use analogy from other sports too. Yeah. If you have a man like Steph Curry and he's 0 for 30 from the field, you think the coach can take him out and say, okay, go to the bench. If you have a man like Patrick Mahomes and him throw 5 interceptions, you think the coach can say, okay, come with us, come on the bench. No. So you have to allow these are the things that make players great. And as I said, who are you going to take off Cristiano Ronaldo for? Cavani? Them people, no. Even though Cavani did do well in that goal. A lot of persons not even did notice his role in the goal, but Cavani did do well to win back the ball and then get it going. So
yeah, man, even the clown that we cuss a lot, he actually delivered a good cross.
No, I'm mentioning, but yeah.
Yeah, man, you have to give everybody prop in the goal, man. Fred actually delivered a good cross, and it was Jesse Layoff that was.
Yeah, Jesse have them lay after for sure. You have them lay after.
But
and just before that, Lingard probably should have scored. Christie set him up.
Joker.
Just before that, Christie set him up, and he should have probably buried it.
Man, just have to repay about the trust in what that Christie showed in him, because Christie set him up, he never scored. Even though I saw a few things on Christie today that I I saw why a lot of people call for him to be substituted because it was on two play that he should have run for the ball and the man just stopped saying want the ball play in foot and the ball wasn't played at his feet, so he just stopped run. And then on
Yo,
that same play, he got the ball at his feet again and he gave away the ball. So yeah, I could understand why, but they just don't sub those players. Um, Before we wrap up, first we have to touch on a bit on JPL because a lot of people have been asking why have we touched on our local league. So I'm just going to touch on it a bit for them. So the final is set in the Jamaica Premier League. It will be between Cavaliers with Rudolph Speed and
Waterhouse.
Waterhouse. Waterhouse defeated Mount Pleasant over the two legs by 2-1 margin, and Cavaliers got a 1-0 margin across both legs. Second leg finished 0-0 today. Mount Pleasant one finished 1-0. So, Chris, you're a man that has been following this closely. Of both teams that you have seen, I know that a lot of people have been talking a lot about this youth from Waterhouse. His name is Shaquille Bradford. What do you think about him, and do you think that Waterhouse has what it takes to defeat this Cavaliers unit, knowing that this Cavaliers unit is a young team, because that is what they bless themselves on. They bless themselves on young people, and this is just a setup of that team. So, do you think that they have what it takes to win this cup?
It's a final, and that's what you need in final. I think I favor Waterhouse as a favorite entering the game. Waterhouse show that they have more chemistry and all of that. Um, Maturity is going to be a big part of this one, and that's why I favor Waterhouse more. Cavaliers do have quality though, and can hurt Waterhouse. So, but I expect it to be a tight game, like most of these playoffs games been. And I just want to squeeze in that Mount Pleasant seem to be suffering what Barcelona is suffering from. Oh,
Tell me.
ironic that these team have money and they just don't know how to spend it. I don't know what's wrong with these owners. They have money, but they just go out and buy players and they don't really fit in their system. And then what by 2 3 months they're running the players away. They don't think they fit in the system, but they bought them. So
True.
I don't know what's going on. But yeah, Waterhouse Cavaliers is a good matchup, and I mean Waterhouse themselves have some young players, but Cavaliers always known to be playing more youngsters. I would love to if Cavaliers win, but Waterhouse if I was supposed to put money on this game.
Yeah, it would just cap off a good season for Cavaliers, even though you know that the season is short and all of that. And one thing that has impressed me with them is that they continuously lose players. Most players they tend to lose are in overseas market. And yes, true,
Yeah,
they will go out and they get other youngsters to replace them. So in terms of the whole entire setup, I love what I see at Cavaliers. The point that you just made about Mount Pleasant is a good point because my team that Saint I'm come from, so you know, so I have to represent Saint
you're
team. But they generally spend on some players, and you have to be scratching it and say, how does this player fit into what you have? Because, say for instance, they went out and they got some players from overseas, Akel Clark from Guyana, and I think they brought in a defender from Guyana as well. So when you look at those things, you have to say, what's the sense of this, knowing that you bring them in yet you're not playing them? It doesn't make any sense. It's just a waste of money. So I agree with you on that. But if I'm supposed to
hey,
call a winner, I'm just going to remain on the fence.
hey, quick question. My boy is still a coach Waterhouse, Fuzzy.
Marcel Gale, yeah, you're a boy
Was he
around
still a
there.
coach? Was he still a coach one house? Yo.
Chevan Stewart, I think can play a couple games too.
So
Yeah, man, Scarra play, man.
so Kebs, am I still assistant to Bertis and Georges too?
When him for go? Bert is ready. Bert is ready to go.
But I say still, we just hope that the best team wins, and that's where I stand. I just the sad part about this is that none of these players will be called up to the national setup. That is just the bad part about this thing.
Yeah,
Because I mean, Bradford has done well, because I believe it is what 6 goals in around 11 games. So that isn't bad if you ask me. Because in EPL, you look at it and you say if a man scored 20 goals
20
across
goals from
plus
38.
38 games, so people outside the man, they're world class, big striker. So 6 in 11, that's not bad. That's a good ratio if you ask me. So he didn't do too badly, but you know that when you have a man like Mikel Antonio, Kema, Roof, and all those guys, total blockage for you. There's no way you're going to get let in. But next week we'll have a show about Jamaica football itself, and we're going to just do a review after the
What
JPL
Kim
cup.
say? Fuzzy in for the Jamaica job?
Anybody but Tapper.
But reach a stage where I'm just going to give each of you guys a minute. So starting with Devin, anything that's on your mind you want to talk about?
Oh, I got different thing tonight. Different. Baseball. I want to touch baseball. Somebody
Alright.
was saying, talking about Randy Morgan. You know that you right? Banting about Yankees not gonna make the playoffs, and I tell him like, guys, I can't follow baseball right through the years. 162 games. Greg Christie, 162
Yeah.
games. I only can follow when it reach playoffs. So it's 5 more games for the regular season. That's when we start watch. And if Yankees not in the playoff, I don't watch. And to be honest with you, that's the only team that's the only game I really attend in person more frequently because the tickets are cheap. I can always find a ticket for $50, $40 or less than $100. I can't find no other basketball team in New York for any
So
game.
Devin, I can have a man like Chris and Kim's over there saying you worry about money if you buy
No,
ticket.
no. Me stick to my budget, man. I stick to my budget.
No man, just link up Kim's and Chris. Them man a pocket tall.
Yeah, man. I
You
just
mean Levan?
game.
You mean you can link Levan? Him say him gamble for fun.
So,
Cause me hear Kems a ball about money and Levan say, no man, Kems enough for ball.
No man, you mustn't cry for betting. No man.
So I just want to say, all right, we're definitely going to be in the playoffs for the wild card. But the only thing is, because the season is so long, Levon, once you reach playoffs, it finish in no time. World Series finish in no time. So shout out to the Yankees, though. We're in the top spot for the wild card position. And anything is possible once you reach the playoffs of the baseball. Anything is possible.
Okay. Kems, it's now time for your minute. I don't want you to talk about the game on the weekend. Don't talk about United against Everton. Kems, go ahead.
All right. What I'm going to talk about, obviously, NFL, right? My Green Bay Packers, whop. After the first game, I hear that Aaron Rodgers not interested. Aaron Rodgers got a bomb, but right now, whop up the 49ers, one of the best defense in the league. So right now we're looking good. NFL is going on. Basketball is up to start. Obviously, they had their media day. A lot of players talk about they don't want to get vaccinated, but if you don't get vaccinated, you are prohibited from playing the home game. So all your side, LeBron, Andrew Wiggins don't want to get vaccinated. He won't be playing 41 games. Plus, they play in New York too, so he won't be playing 42 games. So he should be out. But in all seriousness, though, I'm looking forward to the season. The Lakers look ready. LeBron lost around 30 pounds and he's going to play the four. The four is the power forward position. Anthony Davis is going to play the five, the center. So I'm really looking forward to that. And obviously, once again, I have to talk about Manchester United. I love greatness. I respect greatness. Greatness is all that is required. And greatness was delivered today from Manchester United. And we're on top.
All right, Chris, go ahead.
Right, Kems, I can't do no better, but me don't talk about the NFL. The NFL is very interesting. The Chiefs not doing good so far. They're under 500. Seem like they're not taking it very serious.
It's just
But
3 games.
I'm
yeah, those
talking
3 games.
Josh
They have
Gordon.
I wouldn't say the defense and the offense don't look as oil as it looked 2 seasons ago. And the Bills looking good. Tom Brady looking good, and the Rams looking good, and the Packers back on track, and the Cowboys fans is going wild.
We need an NFL show. We need an NFL show for sure.
Yeah, man. Yeah, NFL
Yeah,
show.
man, we have to get an NFL show. It'll eat up Levan. So just around playoffs, we have to have an NFL show. And like Kem said, basketball is in the air. That's
Listen. Hear what I'm going to require from all three of you. We're going to have an NFL show, but that show will be sponsored by all three of you. So we want the cash rolling in, so make sure. And Piney been calling about it, so Piney, you added to the mix as well. So as long as the cash is coming in, no problem. Agree, producer?
Yeah.
All right, producer, some money to the pocket, so no problem.
the loudest me ever hear, Josh.
But Leon Price, yeah man, you have to give shout out to the Jamaica Rugby Sevens team, man, because I remember I was following it a little bit, not that deeply, but I saw we're a team that beat them. I don't remember if it was either Canada or Chile that beat them up some time ago, and they actually beat them in this tournament. So hats off to them for that, man. But Leon, you said that nobody's congratulating, but what you have to realize is that a lot of these people don't actually follow these sports, so that is why I don't hear loudness about it. But yeah, man like me, man, follow them things are key way, just that we really talk about it. But yeah, man, hats off to them for the performance.
Congratulations to the rugby 7 team. Yes, sir.
And we're going to end this by saying thanks to all our viewers, all our commenters. You're the one that makes this possible each and every night. Thanks to our producer, Josh Call, who makes it possible. And as Chris just said, it's the loudest I've ever heard the producer in a long while. But we just work over here, and once the cash is coming in, we're all for it, man.
It's
And
coming home. It's coming home.
thanks to Devin, Kems, and Chris for being here. Until tomorrow, guys, stay safe. A lot of Europa football, a lot of Europa conference going on tomorrow. Go out and watch some sports. Until then,